And we have countlessly proven you to be a liar in Russiagate, in January 6th. You are the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. You are a disgrace to this institution and an utter coward.
Did you catch that? That wasn't background noise in a Senate room. It was years of pent-up anger finally aimed straight at Adam Schiff. For a long time, people have watched him repeat the same narratives on TV, shouting back at their screens. This time, someone said it directly to his face. The tone shifted the instant Kash Patel sat down. This was never going to be a polite, scripted hearing. Schiff, who spent years pushing the Russia storyline, suddenly found himself on defense, and Patel immediately started pulling the whole thing apart in real time. It wasn't an exchange. It was a breakdown. Schiff clearly thought he was in control. Pressure questions, verbal traps, a stumble he could clip for cable news. That was the plan. Instead, it collapsed. Patel didn't dodge or play safe. He refused to give Schiff the moment he wanted and forced the spotlight back onto him. You can see Schiff try to regain control by cornering Patel over corrupt agents, then pivot into another stretch theory, even dragging Epstein into it. The irony is impossible to miss. And then comes the moment that changes everything. Patel drops the politeness, strips away the performance, and says out loud what most people in that room never would. This wasn't a routine hearing. It was a direct confrontation, and it ended in a way Schiff clearly never expected.
So you're testifying today that you played no role in the firing of even a single FBI agent for political retribution?
None for political retribution.
And if any FBI agent said you did, they would be lying. Is that your testimony?
I'm only speaking to my actions. Everybody is allowed to make their allegations.
Oh, no, these are allegations against you.
And
so, Mr. Patel, if FBI, senior FBI agents or employees said that you were firing them for political retribution reasons because of the cases they were assigned, you're saying they would be lying. Is that
anyone that was terminated at the FBI was done so for failing to meet the standards, uphold their constitutional oath, and effectuate the mission.
Well, by meet the standards, are you talking about meet the standards of protecting the president under any circumstance?
No.
You also guaranteed Senator Blumenthal that every FBI employee will be held to the same, absolute same standard. No one will be terminated for case assignments. Are you testifying today that you never terminated anyone at the FBI, in whole or in part, because of a prior case assignment?
No one at the FBI is terminated for case assignments alone.
Okay, you're saying alone. Does that mean they were terminated in part because they were assigned to a January 6th case or assigned to the Mar-a-Lago case? You're being very precise here, Mr. Patel. You're saying alone. That means they were fired in part because they were assigned those cases. Is that your testimony?
Absolutely not. But if you want to keep putting words in my mouth,
well, then let me ask you, let's strip away the word alone. Did you terminate or participate in any discipline of any FBI employee in whole or in part because of their work on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th? Yes or no?
Any terminations at the FBI by employees?
No, I'm asking you a very specific question.
And I'm going to answer the question, but you don't like the answer because it's the truth and it guts your narrative.
I want an answer to my question. I don't want an answer to someone else's question. So let me just be precise, and I ask for a yes or no answer. Did you ever terminate or discipline an FBI employee in whole or in part because they had been assigned or worked on an investigation of Donald Trump or January 6th?
FBI employees are only terminated if they fail to uphold their oaths of office and duty.
You're not answering my question.
I don't have to answer your question yes or no because you're setting up a trap so you can have a media narrative.
I'm not setting up a trap.
And I'm not giving it to you.
Unless it's true that you fired people.
People have been terminated at the FBI who failed to uphold the standards that the FBI requires them to uphold.
Did you tell anyone at the FBI, all FBI employees who they identified who had worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs? Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
Say that I would remove people for case assignments?
That people that were identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Did you tell that to someone at the FBI?
People are not removed for case assignments.
Just answer my question. Did you tell that to someone?
People are not removed for case assignments.
No, you're not answering my question.
And I would never
Mr. Patel,
tell anyone.
Did you tell someone at the FBI that FBI employees identified as having worked on cases against President Trump would be removed from their jobs. Yes or no, did you tell someone that?
I would never tell anyone at the FBI that they're being removed for basically their case assignments.
Okay, so anyone who had said that would be lying. Is that your testimony?
Anyone can say whatever they want.
No, I know, but you're saying they were a liar.
I'm telling you what I said.
Because this is in the complaint against you, Mr. Patel. So you're saying Mr. Driscoll and others are liars?
I'm not going to address the complaint in the ongoing
Okay, well then let me ask you, have you ever told anyone at the FBI that the FBI tried to put the president in jail and he hasn't forgotten it, and that your job depended on the removal of agents who worked on cases against the president?
No.
Did you ever tell anyone that?
No.
Okay. Did you ever tell anyone that you knew these summary firings you were undertaking were illegal, likely illegal, and that you would be sued and later deposed? Did you ever tell anyone that?
No firings at the FBI or terminations were done for anything other than justified
Did you ever
cause.
tell anyone that, Mr.
No,
Patel? Why don't you
no
answer my question?
terminations at the FBI were ever done in my tenure for anything other than failing
Did you ever
to
tell
uphold
anyone
their
that,
oath of
Mr.
the
Patel? You willing to
office
answer
or
the
their-
question?
The FBI.
I guess
I
you're not
have
willing to
answered
answer the
it.
question. So let me move on. Let me
Repeatedly.
move on to the Epstein files. You said you're the most transparent FBI director in history, so I'm going to put you to the test. In 2024, you were asked by Glenn Beck about Epstein's Black Book. And you said, he asked, who has Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book? And you said, Black Book, FBI. And he said, but who? That is, I mean theirs. And you said, oh, that's under the direct control of the director of the FBI. That's what you said. Was that true, Mr. Patel?
I'll rely on you quoting it accurately. I did that a couple
Was
of
it
years
true
ago.
what you represented to Mr. Beck and the president's supporters out there, or were you lying? Was it true that the Black Book, Epstein's Black Book, was in the possession of the FBI director?
The Black Book was in the possession of the FBI.
Okay, so now that you're the FBI director, you have possession of the Black Book, right?
That index has been released.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said, himself, there's no credible information, none. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never
Patel?
said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question,
And I
Senator Kennedy's
said
question.
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking
made
you-
determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically
I'm asking
stating
you whether
we
it's
were
your
working on.
testimony today.
Well, you just read
that
it, and I said it 10 minutes ago. So I'm not
I'm
surprised
not
that you continue
surprised
to lie
that
from your perch and put on a show
view
so you can go
of you
raise money for your
and for good
charade.
reason.
You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take
and
it
make-
to
you
the
can take
bank
an
that the
internet-
FBI is
you
protecting
can
this
make an
country
internet troll.
and the state and
The FBI
citizens of the
director
California.
will
We
always
are
be
bringing
nothing more
historic
than an
reform.
internet
Point of
troll.
order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
You said
take
I'm the
control
most
of this
transparent
situation.
FBI director in history.
Take control of this
33,000 pages of information to you. I challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
Both of you be quiet.
Now he's just flailing. You can actually see the moment where the argument leaves reality and turns into pure insinuation. Schiff is basically hinting that Patel personally orchestrated Ghislaine Maxwell's prison placement, as if the FBI director is sitting around approving cell upgrades to keep people quiet. It's absurd, and Patel's face says exactly what everyone at home is thinking. He's running the FBI, pushing through sweeping reforms, not micromanaging Bureau of Prisons logistics like a concierge. Schiff's entire approach relies on the idea that the public won't notice how ridiculous the accusation sounds. He assumes that if he lowers his voice, adds a little menace, and frames it as a question, suddenly a conspiracy will materialize. That trick might work on cable news panels, but Patel isn't playing along. And this is where it turns. Because instead of dodging or politely deflecting, Patel snaps the illusion in half. What comes next is the moment people will replay. Patel doesn't hedge. He calls out the act for what it is, a performance. He accuses Schiff of lying from his elevated perch, of staging outrage purely to feed donors and headlines. He labels him a political clown, and you can hear the air get sucked out of the room. Schiff tries to interrupt, tries to posture, but the rhythm is gone. He's rattled. This isn't how these exchanges are supposed to go for him. Patel doubles down. While Schiff obsessively circles Epstein, Patel points out the uncomfortable part, that multiple administrations and justice departments did nothing, while new charges only came later. Then he pivots to transparency, throwing hard numbers on the table. Tens of thousands of pages handed over. Total openness. A direct challenge. Name a lie, prove it, or take it to the cameras like always. The room loses control. The gavel comes down. People are told to be quiet. And then it lands, the line that instantly escaped the hearing room and went straight into political folklore, calling Schiff the biggest fraud to ever sit in the United States Senate. It's the kind of sentence that prints itself on shirts before the hearing even ends. Schiff tries to recover by tossing back insults, but he's stumbling over his words. He isn't used to resistance. For years, people sat politely while he spun narratives, especially during Russiagate, and no one with real authority ever confronted him directly. Watching that spell break, watching someone throw those years back in his face, feels almost surreal. There's a sense of long-delayed balance to it. This wasn't theater for Patel. It was a line being drawn. Schiff came in hoping to dominate, to perform, to manufacture another moment. Instead, he got flattened, not just challenged, exposed. And that's why this hearing hit so hard. It wasn't just about one man defending himself. It was about years of frustration finally boiling over in a room where it usually gets buried under procedure and politeness. So now it's your turn. Did Patel say what needed to be said? Has Schiff finally met someone willing to confront him head-on? Say what you think. And if you want more moments like this, you know what to do.